trying to lick me? Hmm? They're all just hanging around. How's it going, Zeke? How's it going, buddy? How's it going, hmm? You doing good? You being a good boy? Timmy. It's been rainy. Welcome to rain season. So you guys, we are down to 9 ducks. And I'll tell you about that in a second. Hello, my beautiful YouTube friends. I am out here in my backyard trying to figure out. She's going crazy. Sergeant is staring in our back pasture like there might be something back there. So I just want to start off this video by kind of going into detail of what's been going on the last week. If you guys watched our video, the last video that I posted, that's what I thought. It's those 2 dogs. We have 2 dogs that have been roaming around, antagonizing our dogs for like the last, gosh, almost month. But they are in the back of our house again. Luckily, they can't get into the pasture area because we have the hot fence. We have an electric fence, so they won't come into the pasture. And thankfully so, because the only time I will put Lady out in pasture now is if I'm gonna be around to watch. But I'm gonna put her out in pasture only because if those dogs come in the area where Lady is, it's not gonna be good, and I don't feel like dealing with a. Hold on, Lady. Hold on. Go ahead. Go ahead, Lady. And I don't feel like dealing with a dog fight. So I think I'll go out in pasture too. Lady is fine. Like I said, as long as she is being watched. But to leave her out there unsupervised is not going to happen anymore from here on out. Last week was an extremely horrible week. Man, where do I even start? So you guys saw the last video. If not, you can go back and watch it if you want, or I'll just tell you really quick that both my dogs attacked our registered Nigerian dwarf goat. He is our breeding goat. However, we do have another registered goat. So we have used him once, and we've used him just recently. So he's not our main, Peter isn't our main breeding goat anymore. But he is a very good goat, and we love him to death. He was our first buck that we had. And our dogs stupidly attacked him, which is all of our faults. But that wasn't even the start of the bad week. Oh gosh. All right. So you guys know that we had some ducklings that were born on the farm about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, maybe now. And we took in, she had 14 ducks originally. We took in 13 of the ducks and left her with one so she could at least raise one of the ducks, because my kids showed a lot of interest in, again, wanting to have a more hands-on relationship with the ducks and be able to hold them and pet them and stuff like that. So we took in 13 ducks, but then we soon realized that us taking in that many was just going to be too hard to clean up after, to care for, to get hands-on with and stuff like that. So we ended up giving Mama Duck 6 more ducks, and then we kept 7. So it would be 7 for Mama, 7 for us. And then soon after that, one of the ducklings, I'm not sure what happened to it. It was very sick, very it downfalled very quick, and I tried to save it, but I couldn't, and it ended up dying in my hands, which was very traumatic for me. I've never had an animal die in my arms before, and I've had animals that have died, pass away, but this duckling situation was just a little bit different because it didn't even have a life yet. It's barely even alive long enough to even enjoy anything. But I try to remind myself that he was going to end up being food anyways. So, you know, it is what it is. But it was hard. And then 3 of those 7 ducks that we had given her ended up disappearing. Just nowhere to be found. We have no inclination of what might have taken them, or if lady got a hold of them or whatever. There was no evidence left behind. So I'm not really sure if something came onto our property, like a possum or a raccoon or something like that, or maybe these dogs that keep on running loose out here, if maybe they came onto the property and took them, or a hawk. I mean, it really could have been anything. We have a trail cam. We're trying to get it working again, but at the moment it's still just not working properly. So either way, we're trying to figure out what is causing the issue. So 3 of her ducks disappeared. So far that's a total of 4 ducks that have died. And at that point we decided that we were just going to give her all of the ducks. So she ended up having 10 ducks. And then just a couple days ago, 1 more duck magically disappeared. But before that 1 duck magically disappeared, that's when the stuff with Peter happened. So there is a goat that's laying half dead in our pasture, and he's still struggling a little bit. He's doing good, like he's getting around and stuff like that, but lady, what are you doing? I don't know what she's doing. She's acting strange, but not in a bad way. I think she's like trying to go to the bathroom and has something stuck. Like, don't even, I don't know. Animals and farms. Oh my gosh, people. Always expect, what is that? Lady, come here. What do you got stuck on your butt? Hold on, don't rub up next to me or nothing. Oh, you got a little dingleberry. I'm not gonna show you guys, but yeah, so the ducklings, then Peter got hurt, and like I said, he's doing much better, but he's limping, and you know, he's having a little bit of a tough time, but he's doing okay. He doesn't seem to be in pain. You can see him from here. So he's in with Abby, and he's doing all right. He gets up, he walks around. We put him with Abby in that area over there. That way he's not in with any aggressive animals. We didn't want to put him back with the boys in the back, our other goats, because they would just kind of, guys, get off of me. They just ran into the back of my knees. But anyways, we didn't want to put him with the other goats because they would probably try to headbutt him or do something, and he's already been through enough. So we're going to try to get him at least to the point where he's not limping anymore, and hopefully that'll be within the next few weeks at least. But he does have some pretty severe puncture wounds. They did go pretty deep into his leg muscles, so it's going to take a while for those muscles to really heal. And then the other thing that happened was then that one duckling came up missing. So then we had a total of, I think that's 5 ducks. Yes, 5 ducklings that have completely gone missing. The chickens, the little baby chicks, are still doing great. We still have all of those. She had 9. There was 4 yellow ones, 3 black ones, and 2 of the red ones. So she still has all of her little chicks. And then one of the worst things happened. Our cat, Buddy, we call him our barn cat, but he's more inside than anything else. The way our routine with him is, he is with us pretty much all day. He comes home at around 6 o'clock in the morning, comes inside, we feed him. After he eats, he goes back outside just for enough to go to the bathroom, and then he'll come back in, and then he pretty much sleeps all morning and afternoon. Then, like, sometime around maybe 2 or 3 o'clock, he'll wake up, go outside, and then come back in again. And then around 6 o'clock in the evening, we normally feed them dinner, and then he'll go outside, go to the bathroom. Sometimes he leaves at that point and doesn't come back until the next day, or sometimes he'll stick around until like maybe 8 or 9 o'clock, and then he'll go outside for the rest of the day, and then we don't see him again until the following morning. Well, gosh, I don't even know what day we're on anymore. We're still trying to be hopeful. But Buddy never showed up. I believe it was either Monday or Tuesday. No, it wasn't Monday, because Monday was Halloween. So I believe it was Tuesday is when he did not show back up in the morning. But something is going on, because he never showed up. And, you know, the first day was just like, well, you know, maybe he's just out. He found the new friend, or, you know, something. And then the next day, still didn't show up. We were walking the streets and yelling his name and asking neighbors if they've seen him. And he's really, like, he's tormented me all week. It's just really sad. You know, my kids, you know, have really been missing him and calling out his name and crying over him, and I've cried over him, and I think my husband even got pretty sad over him. And, you know, but he's our buddy. He's a really good cat. Never tried going after any of the animals, whether they were babies, adults, whatever. He was always so good with all of the farm animals. And the only thing he would ever go after are the rats or the mice or the moles. It's almost like he knew, okay, well, there's a difference between these and these. I can kill these, I can't kill these. And it's amazing how cats do that sometimes, but he was just an amazing, amazing cat. And I mean, to the point where I didn't even have to really have a kitty litter box in the house. I had one in there just in case, but he never used it. He was just so self-sufficient. All we had to do was feed him, and that's it. He did his job. He took care of the rats and the mice that were on the farm, and now he's gone, and we don't know what happened to him. People keep on telling me that it's still hopeful that he might come home, but at this point, it's Sunday, and we still haven't seen him. So it's been a few days, and it's just really hard, guys. This has just been a really, really tough week. Then even before that, you know, we had our pig, Chubbs. He got really sick, and he was not able to stay out with the boys over here because he wasn't eating or something was going on. He's doing much better, and we're actually going to be taking him out of the barn soon, but we wanted to make sure that he was 100% back to normal before letting him go back in with the boys over here. But man, oh man, I tell you, it's just been like one thing after another, after another, after another. And, you know, Peter was pretty much the icing on the cake. And then, of course, I thought that was the icing on the cake until Buddy. And that just, man, that was just a lot. Just a lot. I thought Peter was going to die. When I saw him, he looked really, really bad. But, you know, what are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. So, you just have to, you know, take it as an experience. Unfortunately, you got to learn from it and hopefully fix the things that you can fix. You have to learn to work on the things that you can fix, and hopefully from these kind of experiences, more so with Peter, because there's nothing we can do about a barn cat. I mean, he's an outdoor cat. Hopefully a coyote didn't get him. Hopefully he just found a new house to live at and he's just hanging out over there. Maybe a girlfriend, even though he is neutered, but hopefully he's hanging out with a little girl somewhere. I hope that's not, I see a bird flying around, a big bird. Hopefully it's not a hawk. I think it's a vulture though. Yeah, it's been a little hectic here on the farm, and these are all learning experiences that we have to just kind of figure out how to deal with them, fix them, move on from them. And the only thing you can do is the best that you can. There's nothing else that you can possibly do except for your best. Hello, boys. What are you two doing? What are you boys doing? You behaving? Are you boys behaving? You're getting big, Gio. My goodness, look at you. You're getting so big. You are. And, you know, I don't know where any of the goats are. I think because it's been so overcast that my husband has them all in the barn. But they're very quiet. Look at all the little chickies. See, and she's fine. She looks at them. She kind of stalks them a little bit, especially the ducklings. That's why I'm a little bit nervous about the ducklings. Yes, thank you. We hear you. But yeah, she does kind of pay more attention to the ducklings than to the chicks. They are so cute. They went for a little swim in the pond. Oh, speaking of, so I knew there was something that I was missing. Then Mama Duck brought the ducks to the pond, and everybody was swimming in the pond. I saw them swimming. They were all doing fine. There was nothing to I didn't have to keep on watching them or anything like that. But then I came over here probably like an hour later. I was over in this area on the other side in front of the barn, and I was standing over there, and I always count the ducklings. Like whenever I see her, now I'm like constantly just counting, making sure they're all there. And there was one duck missing. There was only 9 ducks instead of 10. And I'm like, and this was before another duckling came up missing. And I'm counting the ducklings and there's only 9, and I'm like, oh shoot. So I went to the pond and there's a duckling in the pond still, and the thing is just kind of like laying there with its head down, but it's moving, it's still kicking its legs, but you could tell it's so exhausted. So I go and I hurry up and I grab the duckling. I've got just a regular shirt on. I have the duckling in my shirt and I'm drying it and drying it as much as I could. I'm telling you, that thing was so exhausted. It was shivering, it was freezing. It took me about 30 minutes to get that poor little duckling back to health again. And I kept on following Mom with the duckling, which we were actually sitting over here in this area. And I was sitting in the grass with the duckling, and she was staying over here with her other little ducklings. And I'm still rubbing the duckling, like constantly, just keep rubbing it, keep rubbing it, keep rubbing it. And I would stop for a second just to see how it was doing. And it was still shivering, so I was just trying to dry it off as much as I could, drying underneath its wings, drying its chest, like doing everything I possibly could. And it took about 30 minutes, and then finally it started chirping again, and I would put it on the ground to make it walk, and then it wasn't walking. So then I'd pick it up again and I'd start rubbing it again, and then it would stay quiet, and it was kind of like nestling in me, like it enjoyed being rubbed down. And then finally it just popped to. I put it on the ground and it ran right off to Mom, and I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus, because I'm like, man, I can't take any more of this death. It's like so much. And then just like a few days after that is when another duckling did end up disappearing. So I don't know which duckling it was. I know that that duckling was eating and drinking fine. I was keeping an eye on it. I could tell the difference at that time. I knew which one was which, and it was doing 100% perfect. I had no doubts in my mind that it was going to do fine. So I kind of left Mom with her ducklings and kind of left it at that. But like I said, then it was like a day or two later, and then another duckling came up missing. So it's like, what the heck? Why all this stuff going on like all at once? It was very frustrating. It was almost too much to bear, you know? So yeah, I knew there was something I was missing. So one duck died in my hand. Then Peter happened. 3 ducks come up missing. Then this other duckling gets stuck in the pond. Then another duck comes up missing. Then our cat comes up missing. I'm like, oh my gosh, why, Lord, why? Please, please help me understand why this is going on. Give me some peace, because at that point, that's all I needed. I'm like, Lord, I just need some peace. I need your peace. And I think now, because time has gone on, I feel a little bit more at ease. I'm still very sad about Buddy, our cat, but I am more at peace with it. And there's really nothing that we can do about the ducklings except keep an eye on this girl here, and hopefully she will just mind her behavior. I was saying in my last video that once they get the taste of blood, it's kind of just on from there. I don't know if that's a true statement or not. That's what I've heard, that once an animal gets the taste of like not a taste, but like an instinct to kill or to attack, that they will constantly they're wanting more of that, because they are predator animals. That's what wolves do. That's what coyotes do. That's what dogs do. So we just got to keep a really close eye on them. Like I said, you can tell, like, her demeanor is just totally different than Sergeant's. Sergeant he's more calm, cool, and collected. Like, yeah, if he sees an animal or a dog, he's gonna bark at it, and but she gets aggressive. Like, she wants to go and kill it. And even another thing I didn't say was, after that whole incident with Peter, she had a big, well, yeah, I guess it was kind of like a bite wound on her side. And she also had like a couple of bite wounds on her neck. And what I think happened was she was going after Peter so bad that Sergeant came and tried to break it up. And I honestly, as crazy as that may sound, but I think that is really what happened, because like I was saying, that she's the instigator. And I think it got to the point where with Peter, they were running after him, and it was, first it was more of like a playing, running, chasing, whatever. And then she turned it into something a little bit more forceful and aggressive. You stay there. Stay. So those dogs are still wandering around, and I gotta keep a close eye on her. I'm gonna get her inside before anything crazy happens. Come on, lady, let's go in. Luckily, she does listen very well. We took both dogs on a pretty good sized walk yesterday. We went down all the roads and stuff like that, and they were both on a leash. But they do mind the leash very well, and they are very well behaved. Just something clicked. But anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys. And then I have another video that's coming up that's going to go over what I ended up doing in the garden, which is going to be kind of exciting. Thank you so much for hearing this part of our story. And it's not always fun reporting to you guys this kind of information. But I think it's just so very important to let you guys know that if you are not on a farm or a homestead yet, there are troubles that you will endure, and you have to learn to cope. I mean, there are going to be things that are going to be so hard to deal with sometimes that you're just not going to want to do it anymore. You're going to want to throw your hands up and give up and saying, you know what, this life isn't for me. I'm not doing it anymore. But you've got to stick it through. You've got to stick it through. You've got to do your best. You've got to push forward. They are learning experiences, and God puts certain learning experiences in front of you so you can learn from them. If you didn't have any trials and tribulations, there would be nothing to learn from. So I am taking this as just an experience, hardship, but it happens. And if you're thinking about getting the homestead life, or if you're on the homestead life, then you already know what I'm talking about, because I know this has happened to every single one of you in some way, shape, or form. But you know, I just wanted to share it because it's important to let you guys know that it's not all wonderful all the time, but it is wonderful most of the time. And that is a blessing from God, and you just got to take it for what it is. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I appreciate you. And make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you know the next time that we post a video. And until next time, you guys be blessed. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.